Chapter 21. We walk from the cafeteria in pairs, holding hands. Talking is not allowed. I take time to think about Four Eyes. We all saw the guards shoving him into the car. They did it the same way, doubling him over and pushing him in, as they had done to my dad last night. Now, squeezed between the guards, Four Eyes is riding to Lubyanka prison, probably smiling in his crazy smile at them. Why did he do it? Why did he take the blame for something he didn't do? I imagine the car stopping at Lubyanka's gates, the guard stepping up, looking inside. He studies Four Eyes, waves the gates open. Is Four Eyes scared? He must be scared, wondering what will happen inside. Nothing will happen, of course. He's just a kid. Kid or not, they'll probably search him for concealed weapons. They won't find anything. What can they find? A snowball? Then they'll take his clothes away and give him prisoner's pajamas. Prisoner's pajamas always have stripes on them. They will probably be too big for him. I doubt they have kid sizes in there. Then the guards will lock him in a prison cell. Will he be alone? Or will there be others in the cell? What if there are real criminals in there? What if there are enemies? They are enemies of the people, spies and wreckers. What if my dad is in there too? No, that's impossible. They don't lock a hero in a cell. But Finkelstein's dad could be there. His mom is probably in the women's quarters. His dad could be sitting in the cell, all worried when the door opens and his son walks in. That'd be something to see. I stop walking. People bump into me and the ranks get confused. Keep in line, children, keep in line. Children, keep in line, calls Nina Petrovna. Someone punches me in the back and I fall in line with everyone again. How stupid of me. I should have guessed it right away. Four Eyes took the blame so he would be taken to Lubyanka. What a clever guy. He figured out how to get inside. He did exactly what he wanted and I helped him. Well, not directly, but it doesn't matter now. Imagine how happy he'll be to see his dad and how happy his dad will be to see him. I wonder if they have prison cells for whole families. Tonight they could be together talking away. And who knows, maybe his parents are not enemies of the people after all. Maybe they were arrested by mistake, like my dad. Soon Stalin will let them all go. And if not, Four Eyes is clever. He'll think of something. Nina Petrovna holds the classroom door open and we file in. She pats each passing head, counting. I smile at her. I can't help it. By the look on her face, I know the Pioneers' rally is back on track. Soon I will see my dad. Soon I will become a pioneer. Soon everything will be good again. But just as I'm getting in, Vovka Sabakin jumps out from behind the door and slams me into a wall. Nice work, Americanettes. His face is so close, his spit is all over me. Let others take the blame. That's the pioneer spirit. Chapter 22. As the proverb goes, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, says Nina Petrovna, looking out at us from behind her desk. We should have known better than to permit Finkelstein to remain in our ranks after his parents were arrested. We have failed, class, slackened in our vigilance, but this will not happen again. Nina Petrovna rises, walks to where the group photograph of our class hangs on the wall, and blackens Four Eyes' face with her ink pen. That's what we do to the pictures of enemies of the people, and it usually feels good, but not this time. Four Eyes is not an enemy. He just wanted to see his parents. Satisfied now, Nina Petrovna turns away from the picture. She says, thanks to Finkelstein, we have very little time left to prepare for the Pioneers' rally. But will this stop us from doing an excellent job? No, we yell. That's the pioneer spirit, children. Drums and bugles line up to the blackboard. Zaychik, bring the banner. We line up in a flash, eager for Nina Petrovna's next command. But for some reason, she's staring at the class photograph again. I look at it too. The black ink glistens, still wet on Four Eyes' face. When Nina Petrovna turns around, she looks serious and determined. Children, she said, your teacher has a confession to make. Everyone gets really quiet. We've never heard a teacher confess to the students before. For some time, and contrary to my Stalinist principles, she says, I have been forced by my superior to keep silent. Here she looks up at the principal's office right above our classroom. Then she looks back at us significantly, making sure that we understand she's talking about our principal. But in view of the vicious act of terrorism that happened in our school today, I refuse to be silenced any longer. Listen carefully, children. This is something I should have told you before. She takes a deep breath and says, we have another individual in this class who's a child of the enemy of the people. My dad always tells me to breathe through my nose if I choke on something. This way you won't suffocate. But this is worse than choking. I can't breathe at all, not even through my nose. I glance at the door, judging the distance. If I run to it, she won't be able to stop me, but I don't run. Nina Petrovna says, Sasha Zaychik, and points her finger at me. Then everybody cranes his neck to take a good look at the child of the enemy of the people. I squeeze my eyes shut. Suddenly, the weight of the banner I'm holding is unbearable. In the next moment, it hits the floor. Pick up the banner, Zaychik, Nina Petrovna says calmly. I open my eyes. Nina Petrovna is not even looking at me. It was all my imagination. She's facing the back of the class, her finger aimed at Vovka. Instead, Sabakin, why don't you tell us what your father is accused of? Wrecking, wasn't it? People gasp and turn to gape at Vovka. Someone whistles. When I finally look myself, Vovka is rising from his seat slowly, drilling into Nina Petrovna with the same scary eyes he turned on me in the boys' toilets. You should know, children, that Sobokin's father was executed as an enemy of the people, says Nina Petrovna. Does it explain his hideous anti-Soviet behavior and the likely fact he was conspiring with Finkelstein? What do you think, children? Before anyone has time to answer, Vovka flies at Nina Petrovna, grips her by the throat, and begins strangling her. Nina Petrovna's face turns red and her eyes bulge. She makes gurgling noises and starts kicking up her legs. Nina and Petrovna and Vovka knock things to the floor and bump into desks. Everybody jumps up. Some are screaming, but some are laughing. I know the pioneers never get involved in fights, but before I know what I'm doing, I join in and try to separate them. Now there are 3 of us stumbling and grunting and bumping into desks for what seems like a long time, until somebody runs to fetch Matveyich and the others. Soon they are dragging Vovka and me off to the principal's office, with Nina Petrovna staggering behind and sobbing. Chapter 23. We are told to wait while the principal talks to Nina Petrovna. They argue behind the closed doors, her hoarse voice barely a whisper. I wonder if she sounds like this from Vovka trying to strangle her. We are waiting on the same bench that I saw Four Eyes sitting on just this morning. This morning, when I came here to get the principal's signature, he was planning to get into Lubyanka to see his parents, sitting in exactly the same spot I'm sitting in now. I wonder if he's with his dad already. I steal a glance at Vovka. Sorry about your dad, I said. He doesn't even look at me. He sits there chewing on his nails. I understand how he must feel. If my dad were shot, wouldn't I be angry? What's hard to believe is this. Vovka's dad, an enemy of the people? When Vovka and I were friends, I went to his apartment hundreds of times. I liked his dad. He was a good Soviet citizen, modest, a devoted communist. How could he be a wrecker? I start thinking about it, but get nowhere. It's just too confusing. Then I remember what my dad used to say. There's no smoke without a fire. If someone is arrested and executed, there must be a good reason for it. The state security wouldn't be shooting people for nothing. What about my dad, then? He was arrested. Sobokin, Zaychik, get in here, the principal yells from his office. I get up, but Vovka doesn't move. I feel bad for him, so I pat him on the shoulder, urging him to join me. Out of the blue, he leaps up and grabs me by the collar. I was this close to strangling that teacher scum if not for you, trying to be a hero like your perfect dad. Too late, dirty wrecker. I'm turning you in. He shoves me aside and strides into the office. In the doorway, he bumps into Nina Petrovna, who is walking out. She shrieks and leaps back. Vovka gives her a nasty grin and goes in. I wait for Nina Petrovna to exit, but she doesn't. Glaring at me suspiciously, Sergei Ivanovich yells again, "Get in, criminals! I don't have all day." Nina Petrovna darts out and I go in. Sergei Ivanovich orders me to lock the door and stand next to Vovka by the wall. It's bright daylight outside, but his office is dark. All I can see are the large portraits of Stalin and below Sergei Ivanovich at his desk, eyeing us angrily. Let me explain what we are looking at, he says. I'll make it simple. He looks at Vovka. First you, Sabakin. Thanks to you, I'll have to answer to the appropriate authorities for my weakness of character. No telling what they'll do. I let you stay even after your father was put away, and I kept it quiet. But what do? You attack Nina Petrovna. She's scum, Vovka says. I didn't hear it, Sobokin. He turns to me. You, Zaychik, your father's been arrested and locked up in Lubyanka. You think I don't know? I press my back against the wall to keep from falling. He goes on. So why not come to me and say, Sergei Ivanovich, I want to purify myself from the rotten influence of my father. I want to march with my school to where great Stalin leads. Huh? You didn't do that, did you? I can feel Vovka staring at me, but I won't turn my head. If you'd done that, Sergei Ivanovich says, I would have let you denounce your father at today's Pioneers rally. Who knows, maybe we'd even let you join the Pioneers. But now you choose to pretend that you are still one of us. Here he slams his fist against the desktop so hard his phone receiver flies off the cradle. You think you can get away from our state security that they've been calling all day from the orphanage for the children of the enemies of the people? What was I supposed to tell them, that you're not here? Only when Vovka grabs me under my arm do I notice that I'm sliding to the floor. Sobokin, says Sergei Ivanovich, pull up a chair for Zaychik. The boy needs to sit down. I drop into the chair. Vovka brings. I guess my dad is not coming to the rally after all. Not coming after all. Sergei Ivanovich sighs, sits back and looks at us, not unkindly. Boys, you don't know what's good for you, he says. Finally, we got rid of that Jew, Finkelstein. That might have satisfied the authorities for a while. But no, you had to get in trouble. I'm sending you both to the orphanage. Case closed. Finkelstein didn't do it, Vovka says. Not my problem, he confessed. Sergei Ivanovich shuffles papers on his desk and looks up at Vovka. How do you know he didn't do it? Don't send me to the orphanage and I'll tell you. Don't you blackmail me, Sobokin. You know who broke off the nose? I do, Vovka says. Sergei Ivanovich smiles. Here's a chance to correct our failures. He reaches for the phone. Operator, gate me state security, he says into the receiver. Then he looks up at me and says, think you can make it back to class, Zaychik? I nod. Run along, he says. I'll deal with you later. Chapter 24. In the main hall, the statue I damaged has been hauled away. It must have been heavy. There are gashes in the floor where they dragged Stalin to the staircase. I wonder where they've taken it. I look around. The hall is deserted, just as it was this morning when I marched in bearing the banner, imagining the May Day parade. It seems like ages ago. In no hurry to get back to Nina Petrovna's class, I dawdle in the corridor, listening to the sounds coming from behind the closed doors. The classes are in progress. I hear teachers' voices, feet marching to an accordion, chalk knocking against a blackboard, someone practicing a bugle. Everyone is learning to be useful in our country. Everyone is marching toward communism. Everyone but me. I am no longer part of the communist WE. This is a new feeling and I don't like it, but it's better not to think about it. The new feeling, I decide, will go away by itself. To distract myself, I peek in on the Russian literature class. Not particularly my favorite. The portraits of dead writers line the walls. They all have beards. Lushko, a substitute teacher, stands at the blackboard. He also has a beard. What is the profound meaning of this masterpiece of Russian literature, he says to the class. Why is the nose still important to us? No hands go up, and I'm not surprised. He's talking about a crazy old story they always make us read called The Nose. It's really stupid. Some guy's nose is dressed up in uniform. Imagine that. And it starts putting on airs, as though it's an important government official. It takes place way before Stalin was our leader and teacher, of course. Could something like this happen now? No way. So why should Soviet children read such lies? I don't know. I'm in no hurry, so I keep listening. What the nose so vividly demonstrates to us today, says Lusko, is that when we blindly believe in someone else's ideas of what is right or wrong for us as individuals, sooner or later, our refusal to make our own choices could lead to the collapse of the entire political system, an entire country, the world even. He looks at the class significantly and says, do you understand? Of course, they have no idea what he's talking about. This Lushko is suspicious. I always thought so. All teachers use words you hear on the radio, but he doesn't. I don't know what's wrong with him. I turn and walk away. The fact is, Volko is telling on me right now. By the time I get back to Nina Petrovna's class, everyone will know the truth. Right away, they'll start treating me like an enemy of the people. And why shouldn't they? My dad is in prison, and it is I, not Finkelstein, who damaged Stalin's statue. I am an enemy of the people, and I must face the consequences. The state will bring him up, said the senior lieutenant last night when they took my dad away. I didn't understand it then, but I do now. He was talking about the orphanage. Instead of joining the pioneers, this is where I'm going. They will feed me, clothe me, and put a roof over my head, but nobody will ever trust me again. From this day on, I will be unreliable and suspicious. Me, who loves Stalin more than any of them. It's hard to believe this is really happening, but it is. I don't have to keep thinking any harder to know what I have to do. I'm going to disappear. I turn and run back across the main hall, push open the doors to the staircase, and race all the way down. At the bottom of the stairs, I hop over the banister and land right in front of the same senior lieutenant and his 2 guards. Chapter 25. Dissected frogs, foul chemicals, and something else stomach-turning, all pickled in jars. The biology lab is empty, a good place to hide. The senior lieutenant recognized me right away and opened his mouth to speak, but I didn't wait to hear. I bolted back up the stairs to his room. Nobody ever comes here since Arnold Moisevich, a foreign spy pretending to be a biology teacher, was arrested 3 months ago. Now, peering through the keyhole, I watch them marching up to the principal's office. I notice that one guard is missing. I bet he's guarding the front door. There's a second exit through the gym. As soon as they are out of sight, I'll sneak in there and then it's goodbye. Just then a nasal voice says behind my back, "For some people, 4 walls are 3 too many. 1 wall's enough for a firing squad." I turn around slowly. By the window hangs a cloud of tobacco smoke so thick I can't see who is talking. Behind the smoke, a chair creaks and the same voice says, "Do you follow me, Zaychik?" The smoke drifts away, and now I see who's sitting in the chair. Comrade Stalin's plaster nose, and it's smoking a pipe. "Did we arrest your father?" it says. "Yes, we did. Did you report his criminal activities?" "No, you didn't. Careless comrade, complacent, and naive." I cough and cover my mouth. The biology lab is small and filling up with smoke fast. "What is your duty and privilege as a communist youth?" said Stalin's nose. It doesn't wait for my answer. "Renounce your father, an enemy of the people, and join the pioneers in the march toward communism. A simple procedure." The nose blows more smoke and rubs its boots together. "Repeat after me. I, Sasha Zaychik, renounce my father as an agent of foreign powers and hereby sever all my relations with him. From now on, my real father is our beloved leader and teacher, Comrade Stalin, and the young Soviet pioneers are my family." Carefully, I step back to the door, keeping my eyes on the nose, and pull out the door handle. The door won't budge. It's locked. The nose stares at me, waiting for me to repeat after it. "What is my father guilty of?" I say. "We are, at this very moment, in the process of interrogating him. He's about to confess." "My dad is innocent. There is nothing to confess." "Everybody confesses in Lubyanka. We know how to make people talk." Stalin's nose looks at his pipe and says, "Which reminds me of an ancient incident. Once I received a delegation of workers from the provinces. When they left, I looked for my pipe but did not see it. I called the chairman of state security. Nikolai Ivanovich, my pipe disappeared after the visit of the workers. Yes, Comrade Stalin, I'll immediately take the proper measures. 10 minutes later, I pulled out a drawer in my desk and saw my pipe. I dialed the state security again. Nikolai Ivanovich, my pipe's been found. What a shame, he said. All of the workers have already confessed. Stalin's nose slaps its knee and laughs, but it's not really a laugh. It's shaking all over. And smoke pumps out the nostrils. It's horrible. Join the pioneers, Zaychik, and forget about your father. It's not like you'll ever see him again. Man, tough stuff. Chapter 20, 21 through 25.